Hello everyone, welcome back to the Reniverse. For today, we are checking out why Sick Boy is off all streaming platforms, YouTube, the KUJO Beats and Ren situation. I am preparing myself for my holiday, my vacation. I will be gone for 8 days, so I'm trying to work in advance here and have at least 8 videos ready to be uploaded for the time while I'm away. And I remember I should watch this one before getting into the KUJO Beatdown, which is a very recent upload. 10 months ago, actually, is the most recent outside of course, Vincent's Tale prologue. So yeah, we're going to be watching it together. 35 minutes, 19 seconds. I think, yeah, it would be best if we just watch it and pause at the same time to really see what's going on. And maybe if I have any questions or I have any comments to make, we'll do that straight away. Instead of your typical watch the whole thing, rewind the whole clip, and watch it again in or focus on the analysis. So, yeah, if we would be doing it that way, you're looking at an hour-long video. All right, let's get into it.
This is a video that I never ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed. A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boy has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me.
Let me see when this is uploaded, guys. 10 months ago. Okay, so this is it's back on, obviously, right? Sick Boy is okay. Let's watch the video because Sick Boy. Well, let's check it. And Sick Boy. When was this uploaded? 2 years ago. So that's crazy, right? 2 years ago and 10 months ago. It's more than a year after it gets problems.
It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates.
Hey, for sure, man. For sure, we're sticking around for the end of the video, right, guys?
To all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am. They know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So they'll know.
And I think it's very nice of him to say that because it just shows that he is actively trying to get everyone to really know him. So yeah, the way that he is saying this is just confirmation for me to really see that he really is trying his best to show himself, show his true self to the public, and which is why he can then say, if you have been following me, then you must know me, right? You must know my views, my vision, and that's totally true.
Know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want this to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of other those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently.
Very nice. And I think this is the only way to really, what I always say about Ren is that he has nothing to hide, right? He has no shame at all, and he is presenting himself as pure as it can be. And that way is also giving him freedom of always being able to say, yeah, you can check the conversation. I can share with you the conversation. If other party members want to share, I'm not afraid. I have got nothing to hide. So yeah, I really like Ren for who he is truly.
What has happened here? To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called KUJO Beats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right?
Unlimited use for music recording. Okay.
I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc. Right? After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up, being like, "Yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off." I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here, just in case Kujo claims I never did.
Because Sick Boy was a licensed beat, I thought I'd send you guys this to make sure nothing will be breaching the contract. We'll need to turn content ID off when distributing the audio and visual.
I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that.
Hey guys, can we update Spotify, Apple credits, etc. to include the producer of the tracks I sent the licenses over for, please? If you read the license, it says that they need to be credited, and just from a moral standpoint, I'd good too. It's good too. Wicked, it'll have what they want to be credited as on the licenses. Some of them are different. Okay.
That as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But anyway, he was credited fully, like very soon in everywhere.
But guys, if you buy a beat, right, for unlimited use, is it then still maybe it's premature, right? But is it then still needed to credit the beat maker, because you kind of give those rights away when selling your beat, right? Am I not understanding this? This is actually just Ren being extra nice, right?
As far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right?
Okay. Producer warrants that he did not sample, as a term is commonly understood in the recording industry, any copyrighted material or sound recordings belonging to any other person, firm, or corporation, hereinafter referred to as owner, without first having notified licensee. The licensee shall have no obligation to approve the use of any sample thereof. Without first having notified licensee to approve the.
So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat, I record a song. This is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. It's like, wicked, I love the track.
Hey, good man, good man.
Remember that too.
Yeah.
Before
I can already feel, I can smell it, guys. I can smell it because, yeah, but Ren is also really just a good storyteller, right? He is really setting us up with saying, I was really an underground rapper by then. And even then he shoot me a message saying, hey, good job, good job. So I think we can all actually kind of smell it, the way Ren is now telling the story, because of course, I like it. I will give you compliments whenever you're still underground, but when you are reaching the top, well, I don't know if I still like the song, you know?
I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about. I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer, because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the if anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face, just because I want to understand how something like this could have happened, and I want to understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that, I think, must be very passionate about music.
Right.
I'd love to
Right, and that is the right kind of mindset, to have that prejudice, right? If you are a CEO, a founder of a company that just supports artists making their art, really providing that needed support to really give the artist the freedom necessary to, provide us with the art, I think it is the wrong way. It's a wrong prejudice to then say, well, yeah, but there is also profit to be made. So maybe that's the main goal, right? And I think it's so perfect that Ren is the one to have stumbled upon these legal issues or problems or whatever, because he is making it known. He is a good soul, right? He is a very good person, and he is also sharing screenshots of conversations that he's had. So he maybe unintentionally so, but he is just he is defending himself way before the moment is there to even defend himself, right? He is already, because that is just his personality, he is just working on ammunition to use in the case of, I'm good, right? I'm Ren and I'm an angel. I can provide you guys with all of the evidence, and it will all strengthen my case. I'm not the one in the wrong here. So I think it's perfect that Ren now has gained so much popularity and is still gaining so much popularity, because he does a really good job at he is very the vision is so strong, right? He really sees beauty in all. And I think this is going to be a very interesting standoff, maybe even, I want to call it, between Ren, who is undoubtedly, right? He's good, he's good-hearted, and a CEO of, what is it, BeatStars. So I'm very interested, guys, very intrigued.
Chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent checks on if people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky like they have here.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars, because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected. Just thought I'd put that out there, make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boy has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy KUJO Beats' channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here.
I paid for that and tagged like, you requested what's going on. My channel has a copyright strike now, and that video had millions of views, was paid for through BeatStars, and we even spoke about it. Yeah.
No response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago, with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it.
Yo, big up your work is sick. Oh, he really left me no choice, man.
So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment in his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably. What's going on?
Hey man, wanting to understand what's going on with the dispute, I thought you had been credited fairly everywhere. If you hadn't been, it's totally my bad. I was going through brain damage treatment at the time of your message, but I thought I'd updated it all correctly. Guys, I was going through brain damage treatment. Oh my god. In regards to the sample, we got a message saying the sample of the choir had not been cleared, but I had nothing to do with what happened next. That was my publisher. They just told me they were dealing with it and I heard nothing about it since, so I'm really confused as to what's going on. But I'd love to sort it out so everyone's happy, because I don't want, for your sake or mine, for this to need to get legal, because it's such a pain in the ass and costly thing to happen. If you could let me know who in my team you've been talking to and what they've said, I'll get on it, because if it's something they've done wrong on their end and I want to resolve it ASAP so everyone is happy. Wrong on their end, I want to resolve it. I just really try to focus on the music and stay out of all things business, so I had no idea there was an ongoing dispute going on. Just got forwarded some comments from you replying to someone, which I was kind of surprised about.
Finally, I get a response on Instagram, and for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Kujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they're welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he
nothing to hide, guys.
Responds, and he tells me that he's been
Hey Ren, I'm really sorry that it came to this. I especially asked my legal rep not to request a strike since I wanted to avoid this type of situation. My rep has been in contact with your lawyer, who has been exceedingly incompetent in his handling of the situation. Again, I'm sorry for this total cock-up and I hope you're doing okay. We have been in negotiations for many months and he has yet to come forward with the reasonable terms according to industry standards. So yeah, I'd say talk to and see what he says. I'm still waiting on updates from my rep at BeatStars. Hi man, I had no idea at all you were even talking to. He should have told you. All I was told was that a couple of months ago the choir sample hadn't been cleared and that they were chasing us for money, and that it was being dealt with. So I just figured it was being sorted behind the scenes. That's why this has all been so surprising. All I was told a couple months ago, the question. I was also made aware of that and I'm sorry it caused you trouble. Yeah man, sorry this caught you off guard.
Talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor.
Right, I was about to say that it does seem like he is he's just a decent guy as well, right? He is apologetic. He says, oh, so sorry to have troubled you with this. So it feels like it is not within their power to really, the outcome, the result. So that's also the feeling that I'm getting, as Ren is explaining right after.
Been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're all right, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube.
To all coming from Ren Sickboy, I have waited over a year for Ren and his team to follow the terms of the contract they signed for this beat. During this whole period, I have not issued any strikes with the faith that they would make things right. I asked for my legal representative not to issue strikes initially, as I had hoped Ren and his team would do the right thing. Unfortunately, they have delayed and avoided providing any reasonable terms to my team with shamefully long periods of silence. Respect the terms of the contract. Don't spread misinformation. Don't lie. That's that's quite how do you say that? It's rough, man. It's rough. Okay, let's see what Ren has to say.
And something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're all right, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation, when I thought that we like on the same page here. So I pull him up on it, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't say you were lying." When
this paints out that I'm putting out false information. I'm not. Brother, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm addressing the irate fans. I'll edit the comment to make that clear. One sec. You said you hoped me and my team would do the right thing. I don't even know what the issue is, right? I'm really not trying to damage your image. Okay, so this is because, of course, I love Ren and the KUJO Beats and the KUJO Beatdown, right? So all of those pieces of information is already nudging me into a position of KUJO must be upholding some kind of facade right here, right? Brother, I'm not saying you're lying. Well, it really does look like he is trying to damage because exactly this. You said you hope me and my team would do the right thing. I don't even know what the issue is. So yeah, he is painting himself as a very patient and reasonable person in this whole dispute thing. And he is also starting the sentence with oh, let's see. Unfortunately, right? They have delayed and avoided providing any reasonable terms to my team with shamefully long periods of silence. Respect the terms of the contract. Don't spread misinformation. Don't lie. Yeah, it sounds very damaging to the image.
Saying that I'm lying about the situation, when I thought that we like on the same page here. So I pull him up on it, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't say you were lying," when he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, "Look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split." And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to KUJO and gone, "Look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this."
Right, yeah, for sure.
In bad faith, basically. And they've gone, "No, we're not going to absorb that." And then it's escalated, and they've, I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow.
Wait. So did he approach KUJO or did he approach the CEO of BeatStars? Let's hear it again.
Had chased him and gone, "Look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split." And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to KUJO and gone, "Look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically." And they've gone, "No, we're not going to absorb that." And then it's escalated, and they've, I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening right now. To get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone first, if this was getting so like blown up. Like maybe the lawyers, maybe KUJO could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that KUJO...
Ren, we can talk on Instagram or email if you want. I've been in negotiations with your lawyer for months without receiving any satisfactory response. You have yet to pay me the royalties you owe, and I think it's cowardly of you to pretend like you have done nothing wrong.
KUJO's posted calling me a coward to pay the royalties he's owed, and I'm like, what royalty? That's also, in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. Like, there's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to KUJO, which should be paid to KUJO, rightly so, comes from the publisher. which has nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way, and he's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so
I love Ren.
pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm like, I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly.
Also, this man cowardly. Bro, I didn't even know you weren't being paid publishing, but publishing has nothing to do with the actual artist. I've been frustrated with my own publisher, but if there's been a faulty registration of your publishing, then you and me both are pissed at them because I forwarded them the contract from BeatStars for this exact reason, so you'd get all publishing you deserve. There should be a 50-50 split. Bet. I'll edit it out. Like I said, I woke up to a bunch of angry fans and it got me shook. This is all just a pretty crazy way to go about things. I don't understand why the copyright strike would even be sent without anyone, you or my lawyer, telling me what's going on. I don't understand why your lawyer didn't tell you anything. This is on him. Like, was warned about it, the copyright strike? Dude, my legal rep has been talking to him for months, literally months.
Anyway, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it and I go on to reinsure.
Man, I swear the music business is fucked. I've been knowing this for a minute, but so much incompetence, whatever the case. Rest assured, whatever the split ends up being with publishing after the sample clearance, you will get paid. I'll make sure of it, so don't stress about losing any money. Love, bro. Thanks for being so open and respectful.
For him, he'll get paid his publishing money because I want him to get paid his publishing money. Doesn't affect me in any.
Right, so homie, look, my solution is this. We figure out what the percentage this Balkan choir is wanting from publishing. I have a feeling it's fucking stupidly high. Then we just talk out how to do it fairly. Fuck the lawyers, then I'll get back to them with what we agreed on. I prefer to let my guy at BeatStars handle the legal stuff since I'm a beat maker, not a negotiator, and I have no idea what's fair and what isn't. Okay, totally fair enough. If you'd like, I can give you his contact info, then you can talk to him directly. I just want to understand why that isn't clear in the contract. Yeah.
Anyway, so like, I was like, yeah, I'll chase it up for you. I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo,
yeah, I think it's so hard to as any artist, actually, any artist, right? Any artist will, on his way to really becoming a successful, well-known artist, popular artist, mainstream artist even, right? Will come across hardships like this, and people not being honest and just being out for the money, right? In it for the money, and they will do whatever it takes. And I think people being two-faced in the industry is far more common than, well, I'm talking in the Reniverse now, so I think you guys know it's pretty common, as Ren is always trying to tell us. But he is so Ren, right? He's such an angel, and still, it's the weight of the people that don't know him that is causing him to really address everything like this, and which is a bummer, right? Because we'd rather have Ren enjoying his life, right? So yeah, this is for the Ren fans, of course, is also very beneficial because we get to see parts of Ren. And now in my situation, in my spot in really getting to know Ren better, it's not really getting to know him, but it's more of confirmation of what I already know and feel. So yeah, in any case, it is good for the people that Ren has really put this on blast and wanting to clarify and understand. But still, I can't help but feel sorry. I can't help but feel sorry for Ren.
Out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's some simple mistake, let's split the publishing. It's cool.
All I want to know, which nobody is telling me, is where you legally obliged to either inform me or clear the sample before I bought it. If yes, you should cover publishing. If no, let's just split the publishing equally on whatever share is left over after the guys chasing the sample have their share. To me, that's not rocket science, but no one can give me a clear answer. Also, what I still totally don't understand is why was there a copyright strike on the YouTube video, which has absolutely nothing to do with publishing. Because whether that was you or your representatives, is really fucking weird thing to do. That's harmed my own hard work. I don't care about whatever the splits end up being. All I care about is what legally is right or wrong here. So I don't understand why no one can give me an answer. It's so simple to me. Yeah.
Cool. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says it's always up to the performer to clear the sample.
So like I said, on BeatStars it says there's a sample contained in the beat. It's always up to the performer to clear the sample. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get a fairer share. Also, what I still don't know, I was under the impression that you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. And the reason a strike was issued is because your rep was dragging his feet and playing games with us, and it seemed our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Keep in mind, we all thought you were in the loop. I've been in this industry for over 7 years, and it's not the first time I've had to deal with this type of situation, so please excuse my initial lack of faith. Like, I don't want to sound like a cunt, but if everyone was paying me correctly, I would still be posting on YouTube and BeatStars and making music full time. As it is, I'm working shit jobs, struggling to make ends meet, trying to make time for music. That's why I joined BeatStars Publishing, so someone would have my back and help me get what I'm owed. 100% agree with you. I've emailed him, asking him to get back to you directly as soon as possible. We've been dealing with this situation for months, and I hate to see this hurting your art, so yeah. I also want to wrap this up immediately and get your song back online.
It's not, it's up to the producer, but unless there's been a conversation. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your fair share. So actually, it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample. And I'm like, you know what? You can still have some publishing split, right? So like,
Right. That's what you all got from the story, right, guys? Ren is being extra nice.
I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here. And he's flipped on his head like, we'll be good to you, you know, because I've done nothing wrong in this situation. Anyway, I was like, and then he says, I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon. He and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage. It was our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe message me. They're scratching their head. How can we get a response? Okay, we'll take his video down, issue a copyright strike, which also, I didn't actually violate the contract, not intentionally. So the only possible tactic, dude, message me, send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work, so like, send me an email about this. Anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email from their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to. But I get an email, and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right? They want a 15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out. Retroactively, so since it's come out to this moment and then into the future, when I've paid for an unlimited sample, unlimited license beat, and with that you're talking money from record sales, you're talking money from streaming things, you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus the £3,000 advance. Out of principle, I wasn't going to give him that. But because like, may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I hadn't put like lies about the situation, right? But nah, out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, you know, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like, you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means then now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, and then the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money, it was about the...
And that's exactly what I've been saying, right? If he is still underground, you can give him compliments, but when he is on the rise, people really check him out. You reach out to him by copyright striking his song. Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't sound very decent. I don't want to hang with Kujo. Don't want to hang with him.
Principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry. But that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if I don't agree to this...
Yo man, your guy saying you should be owed 100% is crazy. The amount of work I've put into that video and the promotion of that song, like there wouldn't have been any money to be fighting for in the first place if I hadn't pushed it the way I did. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure why you can't see it, but your lawyer is being a shark. The fact he wants a bigger split of the master on top of me paying you 3K and having an equal publishing split after third party, after I paid for the track already, is nuts. Yeah, I'm really sorry to have to go this route, dude, but if he doesn't budge on this, we're gonna have to take it to court, and I'm gonna have to put out a statement about the whole thing. I don't really see what other option I have, because I really shouldn't be paying 3,000 plus losing in addition 25% of mastering and even more on the master after all the work I've put in this is insanity to me. Excuse me. If we had shared an equal cost of making the music video, promoting the track, building a career, right? Selling the record, sure. But you're talking like tens of thousands of dollars and months of work there. I'm not asking you for that. I get that you made the beat, but I actually put a fair bit of work into the arrangement and writing and vocals after the fact, which you can clearly hear. But then beyond that, spent so much of my own money to even make the track successful after years and years of building a following, who meant there was even an audience for this in the first place. I want you to be paid for your work, but dude, this is insanity. Surely you can see that. Threats to claim 100% of the song from your lawyer is kind of insulting after I offered to pay you money out of my own pocket. I've been super respectful about this whole thing, but it's really getting too far now.
They're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right? Now, this is what I breached. Apparently, Content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested Content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby. So, like...
A rising tide lifts all ships, baby.
But legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and
actually I glanced over that way too quick. I actually love it. I love that.
Monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby. So, like...
I love him.
I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed.
Yeah.
Which is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boy as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember because later on he plays.
Stepping out of the situation now, and I've said my piece and where I stand, but this is stressing me out far too much. If the song isn't back on YouTube by the end of the week, then I'm really not willing to be amicable on how much I offer for the song if it gets to that point. So please sort that. Man, it's so fucked up. This whole situation is so unfair to me. I agree that the publishing is unfair on you, to which which is why I'll do my best to resolve it. But that mistake really wasn't on me to share the burden. And this whole asking for 3K and even more master over a YouTube technicality has really pissed me off, man. Me even offering to knock down to 3333 is against my own lawyer's advice. Giving it till Friday for Sick Boy to be up, then I'm making a public post explaining why it's not. I'm stepping away from this. The video doesn't need to be a part of the discussions. It should still be up. But if it isn't resolved by then, I'm explaining to the world honestly why. This actually should instill fear in the heart of Kujo, I would say.
He's the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down, because this was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. The time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude,
I might have a creative solution. I don't believe in looking back, and if I have to re-record all these tracks with BeatStars and this ends up being a war, it's gonna be a real pain in the ass. The issue here is that I see it is you. The issue here, as I see it, is you feel you have been treated unfairly by this whole publishing situation. I agree. I feel I've been treated really unfairly by the fact my own video I poured myself into is being used as leverage, and that the original agreement isn't honored because someone who wasn't even me fucked up, when it's only me who gets stung financially. Yeah. So basically both of us have been fucked here, right? How about this? We figure out how to make this right with the publishing for Sick Boy. I got an amazing way to get you a fuckload more public sympathy and support, make money and subscribers, and cut out all the greedy middlemen, because people are already so emotional about this. At the heart of this is that you are a sick producer, and I am successful because I pour myself into this. Yeah. We make a track together, independent of BeatStars, independent of anyone else. Simple contract, 50-50 split, something that bangs. And the narrative to put out publicly that it is a middle finger to the industry. Right? You don't have to be so vocal about that part, because I don't want you to damage your relationship with your distribution platform. Yeah. What that's gonna do is turn all this frustration my fans have at the situation into a lot of public support. And you're gonna be seen as a champ for doing the right thing and get a bunch of new subs and clients. I can breathe knowing I'm not going through all of this bullshit anymore, and we have a banging song that will make us both cash. Yeah, honestly, it sounds, yeah, sign me up, Ren. I'm gonna start making some beats for you right now.
Proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. The time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea, because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base are giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what? I want this guy's life to get ruined because of this. Like,
so what I think, guys, is that this is Ren really showing good faith, right? But maybe for someone as Kujo, and maybe I shouldn't say Kujo because, well, I am getting an idea of him, but really we don't really know him, right? So I will say for someone that is ill-intended, this might be perceived as bluff, right? Ren is showing good faith, but someone that is ill-intended might see this as, you are scared to really take it there with which you say you will. You don't want to go there actually because you are scared, maybe. Really think hard about it. Also, if we draft a contract, it'll be super simple. 50 on publishing, 50 on the master. I'm going to tell my publishers, because of this situation, I don't want them touching it at all. We'll make sure everything is registered legit. Hell, even just drop it through a distributor like TuneCore so we both know the splits are there from the get-go, so it's being paid direct from them to us, so that there can be no doubt we're making money on it. But the best outcome of that situation is you get literally tens of thousands of people that will be championing you on that, which even after the cash from the streams would have a huge positive knock-on effect. Yeah. Literally, the only thing I want in return for all that is that we stick to the principle of an original agreement. Whatever happened with this content ID thing, that has nothing to do with stream count or how big the song has gotten. I looked over the contract carefully, and no matter how many streams that song gets, the contract would have stayed the same. In an absolutely ideal world, I'd love to take that contract out of the hands of the BeatStars so whatever happens with the publishing goes direct to you, but I'm not sure what the score is there with your agreements with them. Also, the 50% split on the master of the new song is to show you this was never about money for me. It was about the right thing. I think if we work on an insane beat and delivery, the new one could potentially be even bigger than Sick Boy, especially with how charged people are over this now. Yeah, this is looking like a golden opportunity. But then again, guys, this is uploaded a year ago and the KUJO Beatdown 10 months ago. So maybe I am really rising with Ren. Maybe he wasn't as big as he is now, because now it seems obvious the choice for KUJO in his best interest, right, would be to go work with Ren, with this idea that Ren has. It's such a crazy solution. It's amazing.
Like, despite how frustrated it's made me, I don't want this guy to get ruined. I don't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of a thing because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry, yeah? You and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing. Because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned it down.
I find it hard to envision working on another song until this current situation is sorted. I work another job on the side, so I don't really have time to read through all this right now and give you a satisfactory answer at the moment. I will reiterate that all I want is a fair conclusion for both of us. I don't want to bleed you dry or ask for anything that I am not owed. I respect you, and that's what you have accomplished with your work. I have always treated every artist I have ever worked with more than fairly, and I've always asked independent artists who granted have a much bigger challenge for less than my due. Dragging this out only truly profits your lawyer, since my representative is employed by BeatStars, not directly by me. Complications and misunderstandings only profit your lawyer, not you or me or anyone on my team. This whole situation is hurting you and your image because you have so much more to lose than me, so I wish we could have kept this private. I feel for you, Ren, I really do. I think it's also fair to say that the details of these negotiations far surpass our comprehension, as we are merely artists and have no background in law. That's why I'm letting him advise me on this. I've been fucked by a lot of people in this industry, and that's why I joined BeatStars Sony Pub. I needed someone on my side who fully understands how this all works, and they have only ever been fair and honest with me in every matter. Read through my proposition. It massively benefits you. This situation doesn't hurt my image at all. This is massively gaslight. Yeah. Gaslighting. Tell me which one of these statements wasn't a lie. Yeah.
Which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what had happened next. But It's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal.
Yeah,
it was
man.
Brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it would also got loads of my fans on your side, which would also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out this looking good. Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions, which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people, which is bizarre because I never have. So I send him a message being like,
if you're talking about my last track, the Farrah Hall samples cleared. Other than that, Troubles, right? Troubles. Other than that, which track? Because all other tracks I've made are all my own beats and recordings. If you're talking about receipts, it's even online on a public database. Look, I'm done fighting with you. I'm open to negotiate. Oh, okay. I'm not talking shit. Everything I've said comes from this conversation, which is why I've said many times you're welcome to share it. Also, if you're talking about any online retakes, I've actually had props from the artists they're sampled from and they get revenue share on the videos. But nice reach, man. It isn't true, brother. It's not on the buyer to clear the sample unless it's contractually stated. It's not on the buyer to clear the sample. But why would it be, right?
He said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like and then just goes on some other fucking tangent. So it's
right. So I am gaining more and more information, guys, and that is I have uploaded a reaction to Fisher losing it, and I think I mentioned it in that video. Wow, why part of the album or whatever? And someone in the comments saying, yeah, because it is Fisher, right? It needs to stay on YouTube only because there's a cover license, as Ren is saying. So yeah, it's I think it's nice to see that the comments are all people that are watching Ren as well as me. So yeah, this is yeah, I'm gaining a lot of information on Ren and everything that surrounds him.
It's like kind of grasping at straws here to make me look like the bad guy. So we arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Kujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Kujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other. But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happens is the lawyer just says, "Look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional." And I was like, "Hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public. First of all, like." Taking the video down is an aggressive move, and also I didn't take it public. First of all, Kujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even made the comment, calling me a liar, a coward, a numb. So like to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and then explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are still there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like we got into it straight away with me like having to be like, I put it straight and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Kujo was on it. He did not say a single word. Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject and go, I can answer that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, yeah, you know, like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer even, there's even a moment where my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which, you know, took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word. And I thought that was disrespectful, given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't.
Oh, wow! I was actually trying to interrupt Ren by saying, well,
whole call, which, you know, took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word, and I thought that was disrespectful,
Yeah, disrespectful. And I was thinking to myself, well, maybe it isn't disrespectful, and maybe we don't know Cujo at all, and it's just the lawyers really, um, uh, yeah, making all the moves, right? Because yeah, there's just I I don't know a lot of lawyer things, but often in series or movies, you see the lawyer always advising the clients, no, you don't say anything. You don't say anything, and I will take care of everything. That way, I can that secure the win or secure the money or whatever. So maybe Cujo was just pressed into that position, but yeah. Then we see this.
Given the circumstances, he later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough, and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like, regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not here to try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you.
Ren isn't a lawyer himself, right? Just as you previously stated, oh, we are merely artists, right? We don't have any background in law, so why are you scared to just talk to Ren when he is clearly reaching out? Hey man, how are you doing? I'ma let my lawyer handle that question. Yeah, it's too bad, man.
Like a grown-up, brother. And that didn't happen. I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. But it is what it is, man. And then we came off the call, and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but this is mad, and this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile, I realise that it's Cujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages, because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him.
Wait, what happened? He was sending messages like, "Hey, man, check the contract. It's not stated that it is the obligation lies within the buyer to clear the samples."
On that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was.
But then he sent it to his girlfriend. Is that what happened?
Right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. But it is what it is, man. And then we came off the call, and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually It's on Instagram from this person talking, and this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile, I realise that it's Cujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages, because to be honest, look,
so his girlfriend was typing the comments, Ren was simply replying, and then he finds out, oh, hold on, this is his girlfriend.
I was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what, he needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to like start messaging his...
Wow. Crazy. Wow. Don't we all need a Ren in our lives?
Girlfriend and shit, whatever. I'll leave her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, have you done an...
What?
Oopsie.
Yeah, I didn't realize you knew Cujo personally. I was trying to explain myself fairly, but I have no interest in affecting any of his personal relationships. Only took me a second to figure out on your profile. Not interested in fucking up the dude's life. I just want this situation fairly resolved. I'm not interested in him being screwed over for publishing at all. I too have been a struggling producer for ages. It's only the past 2 years things have been blowing up, but I do want to get a video I poured my heart and soul into back online and figure out how Cujo can get his publishing money ASAP.
We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually...
Guys. Hold on, guys. What time is it? Ugh. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Against the conversation says, have you done an oopsie? We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it.
Listen, I hear you. I understand. I understand you were taken aback and had no idea any of this was going on. I also know what it's like to pour your heart and soul into a song. I tried so hard to empathize with you, but that all died when you made your public statements. I can understand you informing your community of this community of the status of the Sick Boy music video. However, inciting them to go harass him while deforming things that were said, done to villainize him, painting him as this scheming, greedy, envious character when that couldn't be the furthest from the truth, pretending he only came after you because the track is successful, saying that he's asking for more than he's owed, saying he's uncooperative, and implying he's not willing to do anything about it. Those are all lies and that you fed your community, and we both know it. So, yeah, I'm gonna let Ren do the talking about this. Surely he will address this because for the people that haven't been around for this period, right? This is a whole area that I just am not aware of. Maybe it is still available somewhere to be seen, but this is something that does come forward in some parts of the video that we're watching now, but not in great detail, right? So I know that all the deceitful people in this industry can make any last person paranoid, but he is not out to get you. He has a very strongly anchored sense of justice, and I can assure you he has never meant to step on any toes. You tell your fans you expected him to at least come to you directly. Hasn't he told you that he was 100% sure you were fully involved in this conversation in the first place, especially when this had been going on for months? I've seen how he handles himself around artists. Anyone that he has ever worked with him has praised him for his flexibility, kindness, and integrity. He has undercharged or even offered beats to smaller artists plenty of times because he truly cares about the art above everything. You say you're an underdog, yet you stage this public humiliation thing on your and his channel, almost like you're calling the accused in a trial where the jury is made up only of your devoted fans. What are you trying to accomplish? Who the fuck do you think you are? Do you hope that thousands of people denigrating him, shitting on his every accomplishments, threatening him will somehow bring you justice? You're talking about receipts, encouraging him to come forward and face the wrath of your community, expecting what exactly? Is this really who you are as a person and how you operate? It's a distasteful and deeply unethical. So, yeah, what I want to say about this is that I truly understand where she's coming from. And I think it's also it's the elephant in the room, I would say, when you are being when you are Kujo, right? When you're Kujo and you're his girl. This is, I think, obviously the idea that you get from Ren. You are just trying to set us up because you have such a big following, because you are trying to get people to fight for you, your own community. But yeah, I think it's tricky because Ren, of course, he is just it is just unlucky to be Kujo because Ren, all he is doing, and I don't know all the info, right? But all he is doing is just presenting the information as it is. Kujo is just unlucky that the information that is available is setting him in in wrong light, in dark light. But yeah, that has got nothing to do with Ren and his intentions, and has everything to do with the information that is available, provided by Ren and Kujo himself, right? And yeah, Ren has done a very good job at providing us with screenshots, or you could argue maybe doctored screenshots, edited screenshots. Maybe I don't think Ren is like that, but that way we can all get our own ideas, form our own ideas, and yeah, it completely diminishes everything that the girl is saying here, I would say.
It actually ends up being, it seems to me, like it's like semi-amicable.
Why do you not see him as your kin, a slightly out of place ADHD artist trying his best to make a living? Assuming he had ill intent from the get-go is extremely detrimental to the resolution of things. Try to see his side truly. Yeah, well, maybe, guys, because Ren has made this video, addressing it, and yeah, of course, he has gone through all of the screenshots to put in the video as well. So he is now really yeah, addressing it way better. Maybe if he was addressing it the way that he is doing now for the people on Kujo's side, so Kujo and his girlfriend and BeatStars, maybe things would have gone differently. But yeah, they really they never really had that situation where they would yeah, have a normal human conversation as Ren is now having with us via the camera. And in your distress, you are oh so fortunate that Kujo isn't all the things you said. You're lucky that he's deeply kind and has integrity, because to be honest, if you dragged my name through the mud like that, I wouldn't have been so patient. I'm sorry that I'm losing my temper, but I'm absolutely furious. His lawyer, not even him, his lawyer with his own willpower suggested that he could be entitled 100% of the earnings, and you can publicly turn that into Kujo said he wants 100% of the earnings when he specifically said he didn't want that and didn't think that was fair at all. I understand that I understand why you're mad, which is why I deleted my messages. I think you're perfectly justified to defend him. I've been fucked over so many times in this industry, so to have something that close to me hold hostage as leverage has been gutting. I wish he'd just come to me months ago. My lawyer should have too. I've already told them I don't want to work with them anymore. Okay, this was actually I forgot to mention it because I was so busy reading it every time any messages come on the screen. But Kujo is very is repeating himself quite a lot when it comes to your lawyer should have informed you. That's on your lawyer. Shame on your lawyer. And then I was like, Ren, when are you checking in with that lawyer of yours? So, but now I'm seeing here, I don't want to work with them anymore. I'd never have posted publicly until I saw messages from Kujo on his YouTube saying this was basically all my lawyer's fault and that I was somehow bending the truth. At that point, I had said nothing to my fans. They only found the video because the copyright strike came direct from his channel. I got upset when he sent me the messages saying it was industry standard that anyone who buys a beat has to cover licensing because it felt super gaslighting. I know it wasn't true and he's still sticking to his guns on it.
After a while of talking to each other.
Before I made any kind of post, I offered money, offered to split publishing, told him I'd chase my publisher, but that I really just want my video back. I was getting literally hundreds of messages asking where the video was. And it was upsetting then. When I saw those comments he wrote, basically shifting all the blame onto the lawyer I snapped. Look, I'm sure that there's truth in what you're saying about his character. I'm not sure if he can see it, but what his lawyer is pushing him to do isn't fair. He's asking for 3K, and I think this is probably an important message because. Look, I'm sure there's truth in what you're saying about his character. I'm not sure if he can see it, but what his lawyer is pushing him to do isn't fair. What I think what I think was going on, right? When the call happened, and he wasn't saying anything, and his lawyer stepping in constantly. I will answer this. because maybe Kujo has been advised not to say anything, and maybe that is also what we are seeing in all of the conversations that Ren is having alone behind his computer or his phone, and Kujo on the other side, maybe with his lawyer breathing in his neck, watching his every message that he's sending. Maybe, guys. He's asking for 3K out of my pocket when the problem was the publisher's fault, the fault of Kujo selling a beat he shouldn't have, and the fault of everyone not even telling me this frustration was going on. And then all of a sudden I wake up and one of my most streamed videos is blocked, and my channel that I work really hard on has a copyright strike when I know nothing about this. Then on top of that, I try and resolve it and tell him I'm gonna get him every penny he's owned, and the lawyer turns around and says they want even more than that. I get he was angry because of waiting so long, trust me, but I was in brain damage treatment, dude. I literally got home 2 weeks ago to all this chaos. I had no idea this situation was even happening. I tried to deal with it really amicably, and even said I'd pay him cash if the people claiming the sample put their foot down and didn't budge. But then posting stuff about me in the comments when I was trying to be calm about the fact my video was removed just really rubbed me the wrong way. There's still a right way to sort this, but it's between me and Kujo. Both our lawyers are inflating this whole situation. I've offered an olive branch so many times, I'm not interested in financially fucking him over at all.
Brother. Like you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like,
I'm sorry to reiterate, but I really think the people on your side should have it. It was their responsibility since they're working for you, bro. Yeah, they should have told them this too. They said they think I didn't need it because of the brain damage treatment, but for it to escalate to this is so mad. I feel for your I feel for your rent, truly. I won't lie, I'm still mad about all the people you sent his way. I understand acting impulsively and emotionally. I have ADHD too. Also, it's your life work. Yeah, so I was I was a bit confused because I feel for you, Ren, truly is something that Kujo already said earlier in a screenshot that we've seen. And so I was thinking, oh, so this is then again Kujo. I won't lie, I'm still mad about all the people you sent his way. And then I'm like, his way, Kujo's way. Oh, so this is still the girlfriend. I understand acting impulsively and emotionally. I have ADHD too. No way, this is Kujo. Also, it's your life's work. I don't know. But the copyright strike should have never happened, especially because the publishing situation is muddied so much by the publishing mistake on your boyfriend's part. Oh, so it is. Guys, I'm so confused. We both think it was very uncool. He lost trust in you when you did that. It felt like a low blow. I lost my trust when I saw his comments. That's why I reacted. That was literally the thing. Actually, promise I woke up, went on the video and read a comment that really drove me nuts because it felt we had some common ground.
Basically, the long and short of it is like she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault, my lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is like, it's like semi-amicable after a while of talking to each other. Like you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like, basically the long and short of it is like she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented.
This is the next screenshot, right? Let's see.
And read this if you want. It's like, basically the long and short of it is like
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you knew about this all along, you could have actively participated in the negotiations and maybe reached a point of agreement and avoided the copyright strike and all that ensued. If I were you, I'd be furious at my lawyer for keeping me out of it. I understand the brain surgery means a lot of downtime, but this has been going on for so long, we were absolutely flabbergasted to learn that you had no idea. That's how unbelievable it was to us. He's not asking money from your pocket, but maybe your publishers are insured in case they mess up that bad. The whole money contract situation seems beyond both of you, to be fully honest. I am not being insulting there, but I agree with you that talking through lawyers is the easiest way to get drowned in law jargon and protocols and other bullshit. I actually am on the same page there. They're asking for 15% on the mastering right, and I said the publishers should absorb that cost. I've already propositioned that. I have proof of this too. I want you guys to know I'm actively trying to find a fair solution here. I'm not trying to fuck him over, but I also think it's really unfair how it's been being dealt with because it seems like everyone's fuck up but mine. So yeah, I have been really emotional about it. He's been fucked over too, so bad, you know. A dude used to work with, stole his beats, claimed credit, and is still making money from his hard work to this day. Everyone is traumatized with trust issues in this industry, it seems. The industry is fucked.
She feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault. My lawyer.
I'm a smart cookie and I understand it's the price for the exclusive lease. I'm willing to give 3K as like recoup on the master split if my publishers admit the fuck up and absorb the 15%. I don't know how he calculated that amount. I don't think it should come from you. I agree. I'm not sure either. I don't know why people kept telling me I needed to pay 3K. That rubbed me the wrong way too. But also, if they push for 15% on the master with the back payment, which wasn't in original contract, that's so much money, and so much money has gone into promoting this record. I'm happy to do it if it's moving forward, but that's a different thing. Because if it's back paid, I lose out a lot here over leverage. It doesn't feel good to me. If it's money that's made moving forward, okay. But honestly, what I'd rather do is scrap the contract with BeatStars and just draw up a simple one between me and that gives him 15% and whatever publishing.
Lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is kind of what Kujo feels like, right? She then.
But your publisher should have taken care of it. I know it's not your fault, but it's not his fault either. So somebody has to correct that. He's trying to push for so much, but the publishing has nothing to do with the master, by the way. Should be backdated publishing, by the way, 200%, 100%. That will be a good chunk of money, really good. I'm not disputing that at all. I am disputing a back payment of 15% on the master for the past year's work. That's insane because it wasn't in the original contract. And if it goes that way, I'm really sorry this is all gonna get kind of ugly again, because I'm a person of principle. Whatever happens will get paid. He will get paid what he's owed, but it shouldn't be more than he's owed. If we got to make a new producer agreement, that's okay, but that means we honor new terms going forward, and in an ideal world that's independent of BeatStars. But I get why you guys are wary of doing that. I just don't ever want to be in this situation again. I do need you guys to understand what your lawyer's pushing for, to understand why I am upset. Yeah.
And threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's...
Wait, what did he say?
Like, you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like, basically the long and short of it is like, she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault, my lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is kind of what Kujo feels like, right? She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a...
If I take it public, I'll make sure your boyfriend doesn't get grief, okay? Even though I don't feel like he's dealt with this perfectly, but I know you feel the same about me. Leave him out of this if you do, please. Look, or else I'm flying to London and breaking your kneecaps, lol. Okay. I have nothing to gain crushing a producer's career.
A little bit out of pocket. You know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is, if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent about this situation. If that had been the other way around, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent... Later on, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent person, or using bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly, transparently. She also gaslights me by saying, you know, like, imagine what would have happened if he...
I can tell, bro, I'm like that too, okay? But shit, bro, this could have ended very fucking badly. And you know it. I know the last thing I wanted. We don't even have to go there, but I know, okay, I understand, though you're on your own PR team, so it's bound to get a bit messy. No, I don't mean that as in a trial. Dude, let me just explain. But imagine if had issues, some people have committed suicide over stuff like that.
He had mental health issues. I have a very long list of mental health issues. I am the person with mental health issues.
Right.
You're not considering what it does to my mental health, are you, when you take down a song that means that much to me? A song that I've poured into, that I'm exposing a part of me that's very vulnerable about my health journey. Like,
right.
You're not considering that, are you?
Yeah, and there was a message actually earlier when I thought to myself, it's a bit just, okay, let's see, 23 minutes, 24. Let's see, because Ren is saying, oh yeah, so I want you guys to know I'm actively trying to find a fair solution here. I'm not trying to fuck him over, but I also think it's really unfair how it's being dealt with, because it seems like everyone's fuck up but mine. So yeah, I have been really emotional about it. So he is here trying to, well, not trying to. It's just he's just being Ren, and instead of what I would consider the human thing to do is at least address this, right? So yeah, I've been really emotional about it. Just he is opening up, give him something to really give him that feeling of, okay, so we're having a conversation, and we're both equal in this conversation. But it's not. And instead, and I think a lot of people share this quality, instead this is used as a way in for talking about ourselves. Ren says, so yeah, I've been really emotional about it. Yeah, he's been fucked over too. So bad, you know? I mean, okay, but yeah, it doesn't really help your case, I would say. 23, 24, right?
Post publicly about the situation. I've never told anybody to send you guys abuse or anything like that. And actually, if anybody's watching this right now, for clarity, even though I am very annoyed about the situation, I don't want anyone to send them abuse. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm annoyed about the situation, but it's done now. The song's down. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm not trying to...
So everyone watching, I just want to say, and I don't have a very large following, right? I don't have a lot of views on my videos when covering Ren, but I just want to say that if you do feel so passionate about what's going on and do really feel the need to, go to KUJO and give him a piece of your mind, this is now, because Ren has said, I don't want you to go to KUJO. I don't want to send him any hate or any ill-minded words or whatever. If you do decide to go there and in your mind, maybe even on Ren's behalf, make your point, then you are directly disrespecting Ren and his vision. So please, guys, keep it together.
Ruin somebody's life over this. I'll have my own form of revenge, as you'll see at the end of this video. But I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life over this. So like, if they say to me that I'm trying to incentivize stuff like that, I'm not, guys. I don't want you to go and abuse them, right? But it is up to me to talk about this situation fairly. So like, we seem to make some middle ground. She's even talking to me about like her ADHD and knows that I've got ADHD, and like, you know, maybe we just got... So I'm like, you know what? She seems pretty level-headed, right? So like,
I was getting literally hundreds of messages about it, and then when my fans asked him why he made me out to be the bad guy, so I had to say what was happening. I get that it's what he thought, but still, please put yourself in my shoes. That was before the lawyer then said, oh, and by the way, 3K and 15% because if you don't, we have the right to 100%. And was like, yup, seems fair, just trying to help you understand it wasn't character assassination. I know, but... So typical, guys. I know, but that was unfair of you to force him to deal with this publicly. It's a bit of a violation. You can be upset and disagree with the terms or even think he's the biggest scammy sick in the world. But you can't force him into public like that. When you have a huge platform, you have a responsibility. That's what Batman said, I think. I'm putting myself in your shoes, trust me. No way, no way. Yeah, Ren is really is just so nice, almost to a fault, guys, I would say here in this specific scenario.
Cool. You know what? Maybe these guys are... It's just a big misunderstanding, and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out.
Ren, wake up, Ren!
Yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? You know, but... Then at this point I start being like, you know what, maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should, because
there's a shared responsibility, and I am working hard on remedying it. I am not expecting him to bend the knee. He holds grudges. He's about the public shaming and the fallout from that. But there are some shared responsibilities here regardless of what came after, just from an unemotional level. I understand you may need to hear him acknowledge that, but you have to come to terms with the fact that that might not happen, and that doesn't make him an asshole. I get it. I get it comes from lack of experience in these situations where songs blow up and rights holders, who most of the time aren't even the performers, ask for way too much because they have people over a barrel. It doesn't make him an asshole, but it does make me feel less good about the fact I'm actually giving him money I technically shouldn't be to cover his mistake. I'm gonna do it regardless because I believe people should be paid for their input, but I'm taking the fall for something he's done, which is why when I read comments like "it's all Ren's lawyer," I then explode. Yeah, trust me, I believe I understand you. I am putting myself in your shoes. Yeah. Let's see what she says.
They've stolen
She sells seashells.
a beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation. Then the next morning, I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract.
Unfortunately, I am unable to share a screenshot of that document. I can, however, confirm that indeed the licensee, Ren, should hold the producer harmless in case of an uncleared sample, and that any payment for sample clearance has to be licensee borne. Sending some of his publishing fees could be acceptable, except Ren's team has insisted on him giving them all up. I also agree that the publishing society should be held accountable, but it's still Ren's track in the end. KUJO had no responsibilities there. I'm not sure KUJO would want to collab again given the debacle this has taken. I don't know that word, guys. The whole social media thunderstorm is messy, very stressful, and honestly unnecessary. Trying to hold it for ransom for monetization, trying to get more than the original agreement just because it. Wait, what? I thought she was providing us a screenshot of the part where the producer licensee Ren should hold KUJO harmless, but this is just assuming Ren is actually so loaded, you can milk him when he is independent artist having to pay the salaries of all those who work for him. You're not talking to Drake level wealth and a record label backing here. You're talking about a guy who has had one album which he's been too ill to tour, so he's also not even gotten money from touring the album. All those statements are misinterpretation or KUJO's intense state of mind and what actually went down behind closed doors. KUJO never asked for more than he was owed. He never asked for 100% either. That's not and that was never what he was after, plain and simple. He's not assuming Ren is Drake level wealthy, but he is factually more wealthy and more powerful than him. There's no point in denying that. I mentioned it to highlight the consequences of a potential court case. It would be costly for both, but it might actually ruin a small producer like KUJO. Ren knows that, and I believe that's why he made those threats. Just my opinion.
And then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she made up. She wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like we've read, I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't.
Dude, come on. You're posting something which isn't even in the contract. Please download it and look at it and search for the quote you just posted. Producer undertakes no responsibility whatsoever as to any elements added to the new song by licensee, and licensee indemnifies and holds producer harmless for any such elements. Producer warrants that he did not sample, as that term is commonly understood in the recording. Oh yeah, this is what we've read already. This is exactly what it says. It says, me, the artist, cannot add any additional uncleared samples. Please read it. Don't give me reasons to get annoyed, please. I thought we'd put this to bed until me and KUJO chat tomorrow. I felt like our chat was good, but if I see you posting lies online, dude, how am I meant to feel like KUJO is a good person? Right. I'm trying to sort this so he gets his money. Stop, please. just work with me and not against me, right? This is so, it's I would say it's so logical. This is a very powerful thing to say as well. How, but if I see you posting lies, how am I meant to feel like Kujo is a good person? For real, why isn't Kujo fighting this battle, his own battle? Why is his girlfriend, you know, maybe it's not even his girlfriend, guys. Maybe it's just Kujo.
Be out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract, you know? So she's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be.
Here's a part of the automatically generated lease contract on BeatStars, the one that bonds Ren and Kujo. Producer undertakes no response whatsoever as to any samples as terms calling. Any payment, including any associated legal clearance costs, shall be borne by licensee or used by producer, which was not affirmatively disclosed by producer. License shall shift in whole or in part the liability for infringement or violations, a violation of the rights of any third party arising from the use of any such sample from producer to licensee. Shift.
Pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but so I'm just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. She also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video, you'll see.
You're not completely wrong here, but you have to know that Kujo has tried to discuss it with Ren without middleman. It was the day after the strike, so Ren was obviously upset, so he wasn't the most cooperative. He refused to fully acknowledge that a mistake on his end causing Kujo to not get paid royalties was at the heart of all this, and kept going on about how Kujo fucked up for using an uncleared sample, so he had to make it right by accepting to give up all of his shares on the song in exchange for a fixed fee, which is what Ren's lawyer was offering for months without budging and what led to the copyright strike in the first place. Ren kept on threatening to sue and to go public. To be fair, I think he was probably still quite worked up about the whole thing and in no place to negotiate, so they decided to call it quits for the time being and to see what their lawyers could work up together. Ren took it public the next morning.
I was extremely cooperative when I found out what was going on. I was being very amicable when I was trying to offer Kujo solutions and being amazingly supportive and sympathetic.
Yep.
I refuse to fully acknowledge that a mistake on my end causing Kujo not to get paid was at the heart of all of this. It wasn't. A stolen sample was at the heart of all of this. Yes, the publishers, right, failed to correctly register Kujo, which wasn't anything to do with me. They've now remedied that, and there'll be a back payment for whatever percentage we end up on. No money's been lost here, right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about, explaining how annoyed I was about that situation.
Here's the situation in a nutshell. I woke up this morning to a copyright strike on my track Sick Boy, which was a beat I fully licensed from BeatStars. After some digging, the producer KUJO Beats told me that he and his legal team have been chasing publishing money for a year with no luck. I definitely forward the contract over to my publishing team, but we have checked ASAP. And isn't registered there, so wondering why that is. To further complicate the matter, we understand that there is an uncleared sample in the track which the original creators have been chasing a sample clearance fee from. I was under the impression that any tracks purchased from BeatStars are owned by the producer and that I wouldn't have to further clear samples, but correct me if I'm wrong here. Guys, also, I would really like to know how it got to the point where everyone got so frustrated that a copyright strike was issued on a YouTube video, losing me followers and revenue and getting my channel striked, without anyone even informing me that this frustrated back and forth was even happening. Neither anyone from his side told me that they were frustrated, nor did anyone from my side, and I've been left opening messages from hundreds of frustrated fans, and with a copyright strike and loss of revenue. I'm very confused and would really appreciate the copyright strike revoked ASAP. If he hasn't been registered properly with publishing, that also needs to happen ASAP. And I'd just like to figure out what the hell's going on, honestly.
Fighting for Kujo in that, when I didn't have to fight for Kujo because he was being a prick, right?
Yeah.
So I sent that message to them anyway, fighting on KUJO's side, because despite all of this, I am a man of principle still, right? I kept threatening to sue and go public. No, I didn't. I wasn't threatening to sue. I did say I would go public if my song carried on being used as leverage. I gave them a very fair warning because they didn't need to use the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that. That was because I kept getting hundreds of messages a day from my fans being like, where's the video, where's the video? And I wanted to address it all at once. And I also felt like I was being treated.
The issue that Ren didn't honor the original contract included in the terms of conditions of the BeatStars platform he bought the beat from. He basically paid a flat fee of $80 while agreeing to pay a percentage of all earnings of the song to KUJO, which he still hasn't paid to this day, probably a mess up on his team. KUJO used vocals from a Bulgarian choir in the beat and disclosed the use of a third-party sample on the beat page. He didn't notice for some reason nor care to ask if that sample had been cleared, paid for, which traditionally is the artist label's duty, even if that means going halfsies with the producer. When the song blew up, the Bulgarians went knocking on Ren's door. Only then did KUJO receive a mail from his team after months of ignoring him when asking for payment. Instead of offering an acceptable solution, they've been trying to have him accept a flat fee and give up all his rights to the song. KUJO was hesitant to take the deal, but his lawyer insisted that it was abnormal to refuse. KUJO's lawyer said the only solution was to issue a copyright strike since they were being ignored at this point. Turns out Ren wasn't at all involved in those negotiations, so the takedown of Sick Boy took him by surprise and got him understandably upset. When the strike happened, KUJO had no idea either. Ren sent a mail on KUJO's personal mail that he doesn't check as much. I believe he was out with friends. The morning after, Ren immediately went in KUJO's comments. They talked privately to no satisfactory end, and Ren went public asking his followers to go to KUJO's page and asking to take the strike down. KUJO had no idea that Ren didn't know about it. He's never wanted the video to be taken down, nor to take 100%, be it doesn't sit well with him. He just wants to get paid, and his lawyer feels like the sample isn't a reason to remove all his rights on the song like Ren's team suggested. I also think that's a very unfair suggestion. Ren's team hasn't reconsidered the terms at all so far, so that's where we're at. I know KUJO personally, and I can guarantee you this dude doesn't have a malevolent, dishonest bone in him. He's just an artist trying to make a living just like Ren. For reference, Sick Boy has engrossed anywhere between 20,000 and 45,000 on YouTube alone, and KUJO has been paid an initial flat fee of $80, and that's it, which is not fair compensation for his work. Yeah. But this is all after. Yeah. You guys understand it.
Extremely unfairly, right? I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that was between my lawyers. Ren took in public the next morning. Yes, I did.
Also claimed to me and publicly that he'd been chasing publishing money for over a year with no reply, which is why he was so annoyed, as did his girlfriend. This was another lie. Oh, as proven in the next screenshots. Okay. Dude, literally in the message you posted yesterday, it said you guys were chasing for a year, and KUJO's told me that multiple times. I can go back, grab proof. Hold up. What happened is KUJO has been asking about his publishing for almost a year when the song was posted basically, and pretty much ghosted him until the Bulgarians showed up at your door. I know you're angry, but everything you're posting or telling me that isn't true makes this situation 1,000 times more complicated. Okay, but wait, you just said it wasn't till Paul emailed. That was in April in my understanding. And then he contacted KUJO back and tried to get him give up his publishing over the sample. Did you ever reach out to him regarding publishing before the Bulgarian choir situation? Please tell me you did, because it helps you guys and I'm trying my best to help you guys here. Bro, I'm not angry right now. I just woke up and I have ADHD, so I have no memory, not sense of time whatsoever. I'm not sure he did. I'm not sure he claimed he did. Like I said, don't remember, nor was I involved with everything from the get-go. Dude, I can show you screenshot proof, and you literally claimed you were reaching out for a year last night. Hold up. I know there was a call with Phil. regarding the sample a while back where he tried to get Kujo to give up all his rights to clear it in exchange for 3K. It was a long time ago. This started in April as far as I know. That's 3 months ago, man, not a year. I think it's since that the negotiations started. What happened? Bro, until a month I was working 50 hours a week and completely burned out. I can't help you here.
Right, let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off. I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, this is the first time I've threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies...
The video goes back up when the agreement is signed and I get my first payment. Best I can do for you. You'll get your money, but if I see a single post from you or your girlfriend on any story, reply Reddit lying about this situation, don't play victim again if I tell the truth of the situation. And I mean a single one that gives any one-sided information about this, because you'll essentially be taking thousands of pounds out of my own pocket. I'd appreciate you acknowledge publicly at the end of this that you should have never sold an uncleared sample. Right.
From you guys about this situation. I will sue you guys. Because it's like...
I'm leaving now, but I'm going to make this very clear. I never once threatened to sue up until now, but if I see one single post which lies about the facts of this situation, I will sue for defamation. From either you or Kujo, stick to facts, stick to everything that was said in these messages, stick to the reality of the contract, then post whatever you like. Please don't contact me again. This has been so frustrating, and if your boyfriend is annoyed about something, tell him to contact the fucking artist about it and read his own contract before throwing a hissy fit.
That's my public image. Like, I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right, and my principles, and I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm gonna do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master...
I'm not trying to take 100%, bro. Like, I just get your lawyer to write up the contract so we can settle this, man. It's been over 8 months and your lawyer is still bouncing emails back and forth with zero progress. I made it clear that I'm willing to make concessions and I never intended to take 100%. I am not agreeing to a retroactive payment, brother. I made that very clear. I agreed to a publishing split and advance going forward and a new master split, but I'm not going to spend weeks going through my receipts of the video. But that's what you agreed on in the video call. I have better things to do. Don't you have a team to take care of that for you? No, it isn't. I always said it was against retroactive split, and no, brother, I'm independent on that aside. You literally have a manager and a lawyer, dude. I paid for an unlimited beat back payment from I paid for an unlimited beat back payment from the start is ridiculous. Agreed on back payment on your behalf. That was settled in the video call, bro. He didn't, and if he did, that wasn't my wishes. It wasn't settled in the call. Yeah, tricky situation.
Split. We're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email.
No need, I will issue the takedown myself. The way this has been dealt with from the start has been ridiculous. No prior contact tried to be established from Kujo about the publishing issue, which I explained to him has nothing to do with me. An unlicensed sample being sold, which also breached the contract and will definitely play a role in court. The video being removed with no warning as a way of leverage. Defamation spread by Kujo and his girlfriend on both my own personal YouTube pages and my Reddit page, of text not actually included in the original contract whilst claiming to be by Kujo's girlfriend, all of which I have proof of, and then playing the victim when I explained to my fans why the song was taken down. The song means a great deal to me. It is about my 10-year health struggles, about my over 10-year health struggles, and ironically about greed in the music industry. To further add insult to injury, Kujo did not say a single word on a call with me when he has no problem running his mouth to my fans. I found that incredibly disrespectful. I will happily see Kujo in court if that is the route he wishes to pursue, as there was originally a breach of contract from his side by selling an unlicensed sample. The fact he never once tried to reach out directly before this all started was crazy. Have a good day. Look forward meeting Kujo in person if this ever goes to court.
No, I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I explained to both of them what it means.
Just a message to everyone here. It seems I have done absolutely everything here by the book. Notified about content ID, let the publisher know about publishing, purchased the beat in good faith, thinking all the samples were cleared, yet it is me, my hard work and my finances that are suffering. And on top of this, I now also have lawyer fees when there have been huge delays in communication. I would ask anyone working with me on this for any mess-ups here to offer a resolution on the situation that excludes me as the reiterate. I have done absolutely nothing wrong here. Kujo should have made contact. He should not have sold an unlicensed beat. Content ID should have been turned off exactly when I requested. Publishing should have been registered correctly and paid. And when the sample dispute was happening, nothing should have been actioned until there was an agreement made by all parties involved. Gotta be honest, I'm pretty upset across the board here as I have done nothing wrong in this situation and it is my work and my finances suffering here. Would love it if you guys can resolve this with what you think is fair. Out of principle, I will be removing Sick Boy on all DSPs today, as well as a video tens of thousands of pounds and a painstaking amount of hard work went into, as well as a song that is very personal to me. This whole situation has been ridiculous.
Means to me. So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself. I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, you know, like, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Kujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like, rather than like bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song is about greed, you know, and it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also send a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Kujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me, right? Because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and that regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second, that song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day, telling me like how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times, you know, like that's gone now, that's taken away from people. So yeah, I'm pissed off. Anyway, so I sent that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause on some of this.
Let's pause on this. Make it make sense. No, brother, I have time for none of this out of principle. To me, fatigues. I'm not paying you a master split. You have to deal with this like a cunt. Pretty rich coming from you, mate. Anywho, fuck you. Talk to. Tell him your terms. Let's finish this. I have multiple times. You know my terms, but that's irrelevant now. I don't give a fuck about the details anymore. I just want this to be over and get my bag. Tell what you want so he can tell my guy and we can settle this.
It's ridiculous.
You didn't say a single sentence on the call, not one. That's because I let the professionals handle it, business like an adult man-child, bro. When my lawyer asked you to speak, you said nothing. It's actually pathetic. Yeah, because he was trying to play me, stupid ass. No one's trying to play you, lol. You sold an unlicensed sample and chasing more money than you're owed. When is Kujo ever answering this? Because unlicensed sample, that is the root of all of this, right?
One of the things that took the piss the most that he said when I just lost my cool at this point. I lost
Not gonna listen to your messages, but just want to let you know I think has done you dirty as fuck in this whole thing in his own interest from one artist to another. I'm sorry it came this far and got so fucked up. I'm going to talk to see what options we have to end it this month so we can all move the fuck on. I advise you to hire a new lawyer, please. I advise the same, brother. I advise the same. I'd advise the same, brother, suggesting you take down a song about even contacting the artist and then threatening to remove it before we'd even heard back from an original sample business is bonkers. If you don't want to listen, I'll say it here. If I see one more lie from you or your girlfriend about this situation, I will sue for defamation, so be very careful, stick to the facts. Don't threaten me, idiot, we never lied, it's a promise, unlike you and your fans. Your girlfriend literally wrote a whole passage not in the contract, whatever, and you literally said to me that it was my responsibility to clear the samples multiple times. Can we? Oh, he really is avoiding everything that has got something to do with the contract.
Still patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning.
If you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. Just saying, the original contract didn't have a master split. If you want to chase a breach of contract, you could. You're letting your pride and ego get in the way, mate. I'm not trying to chase shit with you, except my bag. Once I get paid, you can do whatever you want with the song. I don't give a fuck. Just pay me and let's end this.
Turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat, right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money. I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money. I've explained this to you so many times. It's the...
How many times? I'm not a publisher. That money is between you and the publisher. I then piece your music's with the heart as well. Let's compare how well it's doing if you want to go that route, homeboy. You're a child, lad, one that can't even talk for himself, for real.
The publisher, and he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, I haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money. The publisher was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and sold it to me. Theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away, but even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up, man. So it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want this situation over with. So the song's down. The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement. He goes, all right, peace. Your music sucks, by the way. Which is really funny, considering, you know, the message earlier where he told me that it was an honor, or it was like, it was really good to work with me. You know,
hey bro, I'm the beat maker from this one. Dope song, dope subject, you killed it, man. Always makes me happy to see people creating real art with my work. Hit me up if you want a link.
Funny. It's funny, hypocritical. Funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's going to be the single artwork, which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Kujo, and it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called KUJO BEATDOWN. And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself. All the beats are mine.
Ren, my boy.
And that'll be going up on YouTube and Spotify next week. I'll also be recreating Sick Boy, because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine. So for the anniversary of Sick Boy the album, you will be getting Sick Boy the beat remade, bigger and better than ever, without Kujo's input on it. So look forward to that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping there's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry, all right? I'm just going to warn you there. And before Kujo and his, like, before they start complaining about blah, 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 artistic license here, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro, but I felt like I needed to get it out somehow. And so I got it out somehow. And I hope you're watching this, man. And I hope you enjoy the song, because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know that this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you, sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
So guys, first impressions, banger, 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 banger. Oh, how long have we been recording? Oh, close to 2 hours. Okay. So yeah, that's very interesting, and I wonder, is this the upload that I have on Sick Boy, is that with the new and revamped beat? I think it must be, right? I don't know how YouTube works and how everything is processed, but yeah, it's making me very curious to see how the song sounds like before the revamp. And yeah, guys, I think we talked about it quite a lot, quite enough. So
this is a video that
I hope you guys enjoyed watching this with me. It has been a very long watch. I was reading all of the messages, and not only for you guys, but also for my understanding, right? It's a very long video, so yeah, do with it what you will. I'm gonna close this one out, and I'm gonna take a shower, I think, because I can feel that I've been sitting here and I've been reading all this time. It's getting a bit hot or whatever. I'm gonna take a shower and proceed with some more recordings, and it's going to be the KUJO Beatdown. I just needed to know what whatever information was available for the KUJO Beatdown. So yeah, I'm gonna take a shower, return, and proceed with the KUJO Beatdown. But for you guys, it's gonna be tomorrow's upload whenever you see this. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow so we can check out KUJO's Beatdown. See you in the next.